How we doing, Xbox gamers? Welcome back to another top 5 video, guys. And yes, in today's top 5 video, as you may all know, I did the Xbox Series S gaming monitors last week. And yes, today's video is going to be the top 5 best gaming monitors you can get for your Xbox Series S, guys, currently on the market. Now, all these monitors can be found on different websites, but all my links are affiliate links to Amazon, which will be in the description below if you're interested in purchasing any of these gaming monitors in today's video. So make sure you do that, guys, if you're going to use Amazon, because it does help me out, and I do appreciate the help. And before we begin today's video, guys, if you haven't already, or if any of you are new here, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so you never ever miss out great content like this at all. Now, guys, remember, every single Tuesday and every single Friday a new video drops on the channel, that being a top 5 video every single Tuesday, and every single Friday a new news and talks video, guys. So make sure you've done the following so you don't miss out on any great content like this, guys. Now let's get straight into my number 1 gaming monitor for today's video. Now, guys, moving into my number 1 gaming monitor for today's video that you can get for your Xbox Series X, guys, is the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8. Now, these gaming monitors come at a very, very hefty, expensive price at $1,899 Australian. By the way, everything will be in AUD in today's video, but there will be international links in the description below, so feel free to check them out if you're in another country. But apart from that, guys, basically it does come at a hefty price, but is the best of the best currently on the market that can support and run the specs to the fullest extent for the Xbox Series X. Now, the pros about this monitor is it's up to 100 or 240 hertz actually, guys, and it supports VRR, which is a very high quality and a very high frame rate, so it'll easily be able to run the specs of the Xbox Series X there. It has got low input lag as well. It's got fast response time at any refresh rate, so it's gonna really be super smooth at any refresh rate up to 240 hertz, and it's got deep blacks and decent local dimming, so it's got really pretty pictures to look at, which I think is good. So overall, this monitor is easily going to be running the specs of the Xbox Series X, no problem. The only real problem about this is its scan line issues at 240 hertz. So if you're going to be running up to 240 hertz, which you won't be able to, so it's not really a con for the Xbox Series X, but if you're running PC off of it, it might struggle a bit at this max, hertz, you could say, and it flickers with low frame rate. So if you're playing at probably 30 FPS, it's probably going to struggle there, but probably 60 and 120 above is going to really easily run that smoothly, guys. So not really any cons, but just a little few issues, I guess, with it. But if you're after the best gaming monitor for the Xbox Series X, this is the one to go. Remember, affiliate links will be in the description below, and that's the reason why it's in my number 1 spot. Now we're going to be moving on to my number 2 gaming monitor for today's video. Now, coming at my number 2 gaming monitor for today's video, guys, is going to be the LG 32P850 gaming monitor. Now, the reason why it is in my number 2 spot, obviously, because it's at $747. It's pretty average price. It was on my Xbox Series S video. This one suits the Xbox Series X a lot better according to all the specs and all that. Overall, it's a great monitor. It's pretty, hefty as well in price, but the reason why it's in my number 2 spot from all the pros, so basically it supports HDMI at a 2.1 bandwidth ratio, which is pretty damn good. It has incredible response time, so it's very, very fast at response time, which is good, so you're not going to have to worry about input lag. It's got low input lag. Another great thing about it, it supports all 4 common... it supports all common VRR formats for the gaming monitor itself, so it's going to be able to easily run all those great specs to the Xbox Series X. The only real problem about this is it's got low contrast ratios, which is going to kill the picture vibe a little bit, but it will run the specs no problem, guys. That's the reason why it is in my number 2 spot. It'll still look real pretty, it still look really good, it still will do the job. It's a hefty price. It's 165 hertz, so easily be able to run the 120 FPS on this monitor, no problem whatsoever. It's got G-Sync as well, another great feature about that one I forgot to mention as well, but that's the reason why it's in my number 2 spot for today. Remember, affiliate links will be in the description below. Now we're going to be moving on to my number 3 gaming monitor for the Xbox Series X. Now, coming in at my number 3 gaming monitor for today's video, guys, is going to be the Gigabyte M27U gaming monitor. Now, the reason why it's in my number 3 spot is because it comes at another hefty price of $1,399.16 on Amazon currently at the moment. It's still a great gaming monitor option as well. It's a great background history. They're very reliable monitors. from obviously previous people's experiences and reviews, but that's not the point. The reason why it's there from all the pros, basically it's got fast response time with any refresh rate it'll be able to run, which is the great thing about it. So it runs up to 144 Hz, no problem. So you're going to be able to run your Xbox Series X up to 120 FPS, no problem whatsoever. It's got a low input lag, which is great about it. It's got a HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, which is really good as well. It's got FreeSync and G-Sync compatibility with VRR, which is extremely really good for this monitor. It's got the overclock feature to 160 Hz, so we will be able to run up to 160 Hz somehow. I don't know how that works with this gaming monitor, but it somehow does. But overall, those are the pros about this monitor. It's overall a great option for you to go for gaming monitors for your Xbox Series X. The only real cons about it is it's got a low native contrast ratio, terrible local dimming that can only be enabled in HDMI, and audible coil within the issue, an audible coil line issue within the BFI enabled. So it's got a few issues there. Obviously, I'm not sure what the last one means completely, but obviously if you got HDR, in which the Xbox does, it's going to be able to run that on pretty colors. So the second con doesn't really matter since the Xbox Series X can run HDR, no problem. The low native contrast ratio probably could be a problem, but other than that, those are the only real cons about it, and that's the reason why it's in my number 3 spot for today's video. Now we're going to be moving on to my number 4 gaming monitor. Now coming in at my number 4 gaming monitor for today's video, guys, is going to be the Dell G2724D gaming monitor. Now the reason why it's in my number 4 spot is because it's a definitely cheaper gaming monitor. It's still a real good one. It sits at $579, the second cheapest one on this list for today, guys. It comes at a really good price for what you're getting. All the pros about this gaming monitor is it's 165 Hz refresh rate, which is really good about it. So it's going to be able to easily run the 120 FPS on your Xbox Series X. It's got an excellent response time at any refresh rate, running up to 165 Hz, which is good. It's got low input lag on the gaming monitor. It supports FreeSync, G-Sync, and with HDMI forum VRR, which I think is great about the monitor. So overall, it's a great monitor for its price. The only reason, why it's in my number 4 spot from the cons is because it's got low contrast, makes black and grey look like dark rooms. So basically when you're in a dark room in a game, it's going to make it look pretty odd and terrible to look at, and it's limited to HDMI 2.0 bandwidth, which is not the 2.1 unfortunately, but it still will be able to do the job for a very reasonable price in my personal opinion. But other than that, it's still an overall great monitor. It will get the job done, no problem. You'll be able to get those high specs, the high refresh rate, and the good looks, apart from just the low contrast levels, which is the disappointing thing about this monitor. But other than that, guys, that will be my number 4 gaming monitor. That's the reason why it's my number 4 gaming monitor. Now we're going to be moving on to my number 5 gaming monitor for today's video. Now coming at my 5th and final gaming monitor for today's video, guys, that you can get for your Xbox Series X is going to be the Gigabyte GS27QC gaming monitor. Now the reason why it lands in my number 5 spot is because it comes at $443, which is the great thing about it. It's the cheapest monitor you can currently get on the market, and overall a lot of you may choose this option and go with this option, which I can completely respect and understand. The pros about this monitor is basically coming up to 170 Hz refresh rate with VRR support, no problem, which is the great thing about this monitor. It's got fast response time with more refresh rates, which is good. It's got a low input lag and a high contrast ratio, so overall it's already topping some of the other monitors and other aspects already, which might be the winner for you personally, but it depends how you want to do things. But this is a real great option as well. All these options are great options, and they will be in the affiliate links down in the description below. The only cons about this monitor, and the reason why it puts it in my number 5 spot, is because it's got no local dimming features, so you can't really dim the monitor, so it's going to be real bright in your eyes. You can't take full advantage of all modern gaming consoles and graphics cards, unfortunately, so it will still look pretty. It still will run the Xbox Series X up to its good standards, just not to the highest extent as the other gaming monitors can. So that's the huge deal breaker for me, but it will honestly give you the refresh rate and the good graphics, no problem, with the low input lag. So overall, guys, it's still a really great option to go. But however, guys, that will pretty much wrap up today's top 5 video on the top 5 best gaming monitors you can currently get for your Xbox Series X, guys. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so you never ever miss any great content like this. Now, remember, guys, every single Tuesday and every single Friday, a new top 5 video will drop and a new news and talks video will drop. So make sure you've done the following, guys, so you don't miss out on any great content like this, guys. And let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below, what you thought of my list. And if this video hits 10,000 views and 500 likes, I will buy one of these gaming monitors. I will buy the most expensive one on this list, which will be the Samsung gaming monitor. So if we hit those standards, guys, I will buy that gaming monitor. So make sure you smash that like button and get the views up, and I'll catch you all in the next video.